Hello, 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 and welcome back to March Payne's Midlife Dolly Crisis. And today we're doing another Dolly downsize video, and this time we're going to be covering Monster High. As you can see, I don't actually have that many Monster High dolls, so I'm not seeing this as being a very sort of long process, hopefully. But I definitely want to whittle it down. Certainly, I don't think I need, the 27 Draculaura dolls that I've got. And I do have doubles of some of the others as well, so I'd probably like to kind of at least just have one of each, maybe. I mean, with Draculaura, that's not going to happen. But I think maybe with the others, I can possibly ditch one of the dolls and keep the other. So, look, without further ado, let's get downsizing. So I haven't really done boxed dolls with most of these sort of downsizing videos. I'm basically showing you these because I think you've already seen them anyway when I showed dolls that I'd bought last year. So I thought, as this is the case, I'm going to show them as part of this video. So first off, I'm probably going to keep Jennifer. I haven't opened her yet. I kind of really like the colours of her and the whole kind of style of her as well. So I will probably keep her. However, Draculaura and the Fantastic Scooter, I like the idea of the doll on this. I like the fact that you can swap the hands out and give her gloves and stuff like that. I think I just got giddy when I saw her in Aldi for €15. So that was really why I probably ended up buying her at the time. Also, I don't really need a bike. It just seems like another kind of waste of space thing. So yeah, I think I'd rather pass her on to someone who might appreciate her. So now let's have a look at the dolls that are already unboxed. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to have a look at the dolls that I've only got sort of single versions of. And these are them here. So I've got Abby, I've got Cleo, Guilia, Catty and Venus at the end there. I really wanted these dolls when I got them. And certainly with, I think, Guilia and Catty and Venus, they were kind of tricky to get. They seemed to be more kind of difficult to get hold of. So because of that, I think I'm probably actually going to keep all three of those. And because Cleo was my first, and she's such a pretty doll. I mean, I love the colours, I love the whole Egyptian theme. The hair is so nice. I'm going to keep her as well. And although with Abby, she's got kind of poly hair, I still really like the doll, and therefore I'm going to keep her as well. I think the issues we're going to have is when I've got more than one of the characters and which one I'm going to kind of favour over the other. So let's get on with that now. Okay, so here we go. So we've got two of each of the characters here. So we've got Frankie, we've got Laguna, and we've got Claudine at the end there. So if we have a look at Frankie first. So the first Frankie that we've got was from one of the Skulltimate Secret waves. I think it was the very first one, possibly. So they came in the big cabinet thing, and he had the key to open all the kind of compartments and stuff. And I did really like the doll. I liked kind of the accessories and the clothing. The only thing that I didn't like about the doll was the fact that they've got poly hair, which is kind of a bit of a shame. But to be honest, I do actually really like them still. I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's the colouring. I don't know. Anyway, look, I do really like the doll. So I think, despite the fact I thought when I was going into this that I'd probably get rid of one of these, and this one is the Core Refresh doll, by the way. And again, I do really like this one. I like the fact that they've got the nice hair. They've also got the pink streaking, which I know was kind of controversial at the time. But I really like it. I think it kind of goes with the rest of the kind of the neon-y colours. This one has also got a dark lipstick, which they did a lot with the first kind of Core Refresh dolls that they did. They kind of gave them a bit more of a kind of edgy look. So I think for now, although I thought I would get rid of this one originally, kind of seeing them together, I think I'm going to keep both of them, at least for now. And, later on, obviously, I can decide if I want to get rid of one of them or whatever. But yeah, so Frankie, both the Frankies are staying. So let's pop them to one side. So we've now got 2 Laguna Blues here. I think you pretty much know what my decision is going to be, because when I unboxed this doll, I was completely enamoured by her, I think. The fact that she's got the blue hair for Laguna Blue, she's got a really nice kind of face up and everything. The clothes that she came with were, you know, very nice. A bit more simple than what this one is wearing, but it just seemed to work really well with her. This one was very nice as well. So this one is I think the Core Refresh. The original version is different to this, but this is the Core Refresh. I like this one because I kind of felt like I needed to get a Laguna, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to get this one. I kind of wish I'd waited, because I wouldn't have ended up buying this one at all if I'd got this one first. I do like this one. She's very nice. I like these trousers particularly. The only thing is you can't really see the legs, which I always think is kind of a big draw with this doll, because she's got that kind of ombre on the leg situation going on. So yeah, it's a really nice design. The fact they go to all that trouble to kind of ombre the legs. But yeah, I think the issue was this bit is kind of painted on, kind of over this part. So the paint on this kind of scratches off, which is unfortunate. That might be why they gave her these kind of trousers to kind of protect the legs more. But yeah, I kind of feel like the draw of Laguna is the fact that she does have kind of these kind of fin things on her legs, because she is supposed to be a sea creature. I know she's got these kind of ears and stuff, which also kind of make her more monstery, but I kind of like the whole leg thing, and surely that should be something that should be kind of shown off really with the doll. Whereas with this one, they kind of stopped doing the whole ombre thing and basically just gave her these kind of legs below the knee, and they didn't bother painting it on. They just kind of hinted at it at the knee. But it's kind of all right. I don't actually mind that so much. So yeah. So I think the answer to this question is this one is going to stay, and this Laguna is going to swim off into the sunset. So let's pop her to one side over there. And then we've got two Claudines. So the first Claudine here was the original version of the core dolls, and she was very nice. Again, her hair though isn't great, and as you can see, it's just really messy. Her face is stunning. Her face is really nice. Let me bring it up so you can see it. I mean, there's a lot of details in her eyes particularly. She's got a really stunning face. It's just the hair kind of lets her down for me. I don't even mind the clothes so much. In fact, this kind of little kind of romper that she's wearing is actually very nice, and it's got the whole phases of the moon on. They've kind of gone with that because obviously she is a werewolf. But yeah, I think probably she's going to end up going, only because I don't just kind of prefer the softness of the hair on this one. The makeup is darker, which I think probably suits these dolls anyway. The hair has a nicer kind of style to it. We've got kind of plaits there. We've also got a kind of a light pink and a light purple in there as well, almost kind of like pastel colours, which I think is just a really nice look for her. I mean, you can see the differences with the hair. This one kind of lays very nicely, whereas the other one is all over the place. So yes, I'm definitely going to keep this gal here, and this one here is going to be going away to live on a farm. So let's move her out of the way to one side there. So now it's the biggie. Let's bring on the Draculaura. So here we go. I've only got 3, which is pretty good going. Obviously, I would have had the one on the scooter as well, but she's probably going to be going bye-byes. This is kind of the order that I got them in. This is the original core doll that came out when they relaunched G3. This was one from the Skulltimate Secrets line. I think this was the same line that Frankie came in, the Frankie that I decided to keep in the end. It's kind of interesting. I don't know why Frankie's hair is poly, or, you know, the kind of the dry, hard stuff, whereas Draculaura's is nice. It's very soft. So I don't really understand why that is. I know that, you know, Draculaura is the favourite child from the Monster High range, but it just seems a bit mean that they would give certain dolls poly hair, but they'd always try and give Draculaura the kind of the nicer hair. I think that has actually changed later on with this Ultimate Secret dolls. I'm pretty sure they all have poly hair, even you know, Lady Draculaura there. But yeah, so all these Draculas have really nice hair. This one here was the Core Refresh doll, and again they've gone with a really kind of dark lipstick for her. Let me bring her up. So the others have very kind of pink lips, whereas this one is, now I don't know what colour is coming up for you. It's kind of a dark burgundy by the looks of it, which is very nice. And the hair on this is lovely. She got bunches for some reason, which I'm not always that sure about. Having said that though, the hair on these two where it's kind of loose is just a bit wild. So putting it in bunches was probably a good call on their part. On the end here, we've got one of the kind of sort of budgety dolls. So this was the Draculaura from the Scaradise Island range of dolls that were released. So this is not the outfit she came with. She basically came in, I think, like a bikini and a sarong and then a big hat, I think. This outfit was sent to me by Millie over at Millie Dolly Dane, which I'm very pleased about. It suits her really well. I love the colours of it, of course. They are very kind of Draculaura-esque. But there's also a kind of 50s look about it as well. So look, I'm definitely going to be keeping this gal here. Also, her hair is mostly black, so I find that quite interesting. She does have a few strands of pink, but it's kind of barely there. But on the whole, I do really like this doll, so I'm going to be keeping her for sure. I think also I'm probably going to be keeping this gal here, who was the Core Refresh doll. So I'm going to put her to one side as well. I kind of feel like with the Core Refresh dolls, at least the kind of the first version of them, they seem to go for a kind of a darker, edgier look. So they did it with Draculaura, as you see, before they did it with Frankie as well. And they also did it with Claudine, and it kind of feels more in keeping with the whole Monster High, kind of a bit edgy, sort of a bit gothy kind of style. So yeah, so I'm definitely going to be keeping her as well. So I've then got these two. Now, I'm not sure what to do. I don't know whether to maybe keep one of them and get rid of the other one. The other idea I had was, and this was thanks to Julie over on the Doll Coven, she actually gave one of her Draculauras a bob, and it looked amazing. So I might be tempted to keep one and do that. And to be honest, I think if I was going to keep one of them, it would probably be this one. Only because I really like the whole split on the fringe. It kind of goes all the way back. Whereas this one, I don't know if they kind of knew what they were doing with the hair. They kind of gave her kind of a black bit at the front and then the rest was pink, which is fine. I suppose they kind of wanted to mix it up a bit. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this one, and I'm probably going to give her a bob at some point. So I will show you if that happens. And with this gal here, I think I'm probably going to say goodbye to her. So yeah, so let's move her away before I change my mind. Okay, so here we go. So this is the Monster High dolls that I'm going to be keeping. Out of all of them, I've only really gotten rid of 3 and 4 if you count the Draculaura scooter version. Obviously you have to include into this the Jennifer doll, who I've yet to unbox. So what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if you've downsized your Monster High collection. I think one of the monsters tried to get away there, didn't she? Let's pop her back up there. Yeah, let me know if you've downsized your Monster High collection and what kind of decisions you've been making. I'm kind of okay with what I've done. I think, like I've mentioned in previous videos, the whole downsizing thing is ongoing. I think even once I've been through it, you know, this time, there might be another time later on where I need to go through it again. I'm only kind of doing it on camera at the moment because it's such a big thing. I'm getting rid of, you know, I'm trying to do the kind of the hard work and get rid of most of the dolls that I don't want now. And then any that I'm not sure about, I'll just privately do later. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a like. Please subscribe as well if you haven't done so already, and feel free to share the video if you know anyone else that like this kind of dolly content. And I will see you in the next one. So until then, take care. Bye.